I want to start by asking you a question. Not the kind you answer out loud, but the kind that lingers in your mind for the rest of the day. Who are you? Not your name, not your job, not the roles you play in other people's lives. Who are you when everything else is stripped away? Because at some point in life, every single one of us hits that moment where the noise quiets down, and we're left staring at the mirror, asking, is this really me? Now, before we go any further, if you're listening to this and it already stirs something inside you, I want you to stay till the very end. And hey, if you find a piece of yourself in this conversation, and make sure you subscribe and watch the full video, because I promise by the time we're done, you'll look at your life through a completely different lens. Aired the relationship, you hit that goal, and for a few days, maybe even a few weeks, it felt incredible. But then, that familiar emptiness crept back in. That's the moment most people realize something's missing. Not success, not love, not validation, but self. Because it's possible to have everything you once dreamed of and still feel lost, if you never learned who you are underneath it all. The illusion of identity. From the moment we're kids, we're told what to be. Be polite. Be successful. Be someone who makes us proud. And without even realizing it, we start building an identity out of expectations, layer after layer of shoulds. We become who people expect us to be instead of who we truly are. Think about it. How often have you changed parts of yourself just to fit in? The way you speak, the way you dress, the dreams you chase. We call it growing up. But sometimes it's not growth, it's disappearing. The pain of not knowing yourself. When you don't know who you are, you live your life reacting instead of creating. You settle for relationships that don't honor you. You chase achievements that don't fulfill you. You become addicted to approval, because external validation becomes the only mirror you trust. And the cruel part is the world rewards it. It claps for your performance, not your peace. It celebrates how productive you are, not how present you are. But somewhere inside, there's a quiet voice that whispers, this isn't it. This isn't me. The turning point. Every journey of self-discovery begins with that whisper. For some, it comes after heartbreak. For others, after failure. Sometimes it's just waking up one day and realizing, I've been living someone else's story. That's where the real journey begins. Not when you find answers, but when you finally start asking the right questions. Who am I when no one is watching? What do I love when nobody's judging? What values actually make me proud of myself? And most importantly, what kind of life feels mine? Step 1. Silence the noise. The first step to discovering who you are is to quiet the world. We live in an age of constant comparison. Scroll through social media, and you're instantly reminded of all the things you're not. Not rich enough, not fit enough, not successful enough. But here's the truth. You can't hear your own voice if you're constantly listening to everyone else's. So take a step back. Turn off the noise. Spend time alone. Not because you're lonely, but because you're learning to be with yourself. You'll be surprised at what surfaces when you stop drowning in other people's opinions. Step 2. Embrace your contradictions. We're taught that we have to fit neatly into labels. Confident or shy, introvert or extrovert, strong or sensitive. But real people are contradictions. You can be confident and insecure at the same time. You can crave connection and still need space. You can be soft and still powerful. The goal isn't to choose a single version of you. It's to embrace all of you. The day you stop apologizing for your complexity is the day you start feeling free. Step 3. Redefine success. Most inherit someone else's definition of success. Maybe it's money, maybe it's marriage, maybe it's recognition, but real success is alignment. It's when what you do matches who you are. You can earn $1 million and still feel empty if the life you're living doesn't align with your values. And you can have very little and feel deeply fulfilled if every day reflects what truly matters to you. Ask yourself, what does success mean to me? Not to my parents, not to society, to me. Step 4. Let go of roles that don't serve you. Sometimes the hardest part of self-discovery is grieving the version of yourself that everyone else loved, but you no longer recognize. It's okay to outgrow people, dreams, and even your old self, because you can't become who you're meant to be while clinging to who you were. Letting go isn't selfish. It's sacred. Every time you let go of a role that doesn't fit, you make space for authenticity to breathe. Step 5. Healing the relationship with yourself. You can't build a life you love if you don't love the person living it. And loving yourself isn't about daily affirmations or mirror pep talks. It's about trust. It's about keeping promises to yourself. It's about setting boundaries that honor your peace. It's about forgiving yourself for the mistakes you made when you didn't know better. You don't have to be perfect to be proud of yourself. You just have to be real. I remember a moment years ago when everything on paper looked perfect. My career was growing, I was helping people, I had what many would call success. But late at night, after the cameras were off, I'd sit there feeling disconnected. It wasn't sadness, it was emptiness. I realized I was constantly trying to be the version of me that people wanted to see. Polished, confident, certain. But somewhere along the way, I forgot that it's okay to be human. And that's when I learned something powerful. The more authentic you are, the more impact you create. Because people don't connect with perfection, they connect with truth. The myth of arrival, one of the biggest lies we tell ourselves, is that once we find ourselves, we'll stay that way forever. But identity isn't a destination, it's a journey. You don't find yourself once, you keep finding yourself over and over again. Every heartbreak, every failure, every risk you take, it all reveals a new part of you. So don't pressure yourself to have it all figured out. Be curious instead of certain, because curiosity keeps you growing. When you finally see yourself, something magical happens when you begin to live in alignment with who you really are. You stop chasing people who don't value you. You stop apologizing for your truth. You start attracting relationships, opportunities, and moments that feel like home. You move differently, not with arrogance, but with peace. Because you finally realize, you don't need to prove your worth, you just need to be it. The mirror exercise, if you're watching this right now, I want you to try something later today. Stand in front of a mirror, look yourself in the eyes, really look. And instead of pointing out what's wrong, say to yourself, I'm still learning who I am, but I'm proud of how far I've come. Do that every day for a week. Watch how it changes your energy, your choices, and your sense of peace. Because when you start speaking kindly to yourself, your entire world begins to shift. What this journey teaches us, the journey of self-discovery, isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've been all along. It's peeling away every layer that isn't yours. It's forgiving yourself for the years you spent trying to be enough for others. And it's realizing you were always enough, you just forgot. Before we end, if this message resonates with you, if it made you pause, reflect, or even feel seen, then I want you to subscribe and stay for more of these conversations. Not because of algorithms or numbers, but because this space is about you, about your growth, your heart, your evolution. And I promise, if you stick around and watch till the end of each video, you'll keep uncovering new pieces of yourself you never knew existed. The closing moment. So, who are you? You're not your mistakes. You're not your past. You're not the expectations that people built around you. You are the choices you make when no one is watching. You are the values you stand by when it's hard. You are the kindness you give even when no one deserves it. You are a masterpiece still being painted, messy, beautiful, and uniquely yours. And maybe, just maybe, the point isn't to find yourself, but to remember yourself every single day. So take a deep breath, start again, and know that the person you're becoming is someone worth meeting. Thanks for spending this time with me. If this spoke to you, hit that subscribe button, stay connected, and remember, your journey of self-discovery isn't about perfection, it's about presence. I'll see you in the next one.